What would you say, real quick, to a girl right now who is having that same dilemma? She's struggling with, like, I'm pregnant and I don't want to be with this guy. It's not the ideal situation, and she's making appointments to have an abortion.
I would tell her to trust God, because trusting like a human, like, oh, I don't have a human to help me in this process. I'm going to have to raise a whole baby by myself. He will provide. He will counsel her. He will guide. He will do everything for you. I was in that situation, like, I'm not about to have a kid with somebody I don't want to be with, but it was being selfish, because it's like you looking at who you're going to be with, but what about the life inside of you? Like, somebody put that life in you. God put that life inside of you, and he's going to help you just like he helped your mama with you. So I would say, like, trust God, and the baby can bring, like, life to you again. Yeah. Even when the other person walks away. So
listen, this breakup thing, I think so many women, because this is what I went through, so many young women, they're afraid to leave, or they're afraid to be single, because first off, they feel like, I don't want to start over. I experienced that. If you spent so much time in this relationship, for some reason we feel indebted.
Can I just be honest?
Go ahead.
I don't want to be single.
I
don't want to be single, but I'm learning that a lot about myself, and I really appreciate God. So I'm thankful that I'm single, but I don't want to be single in my life.
I trust and believe it is okay. It is okay to desire to be married and to want to have a family, girl. You know,
I figured that I'm not with somebody and I'm single because I got a lot to work on. I'd say I don't want to be single, but like, God was showing me, like, you're not ready for another person. That's the rest of your life. That's every day somebody in your space. And I thought about, like, they gotta be in my space, like, they can't have their own place. So I'm like, okay, I'm not ready. Okay.
For marriage, like, that's a really huge step. So that's another level of maturity, though, realizing where you are. And a lot of, I'll say this, when you are in that stage of breaking up, we are not present with ourselves. We're not realizing where we are, because obviously if something's not working out, it's for a reason. And so coming to terms with your reality, like, I got a lot of stuff to work on within myself. Maybe it is good that I separate. Maybe it is good that I am in this place by myself. And really remember, just because you are not in a relationship does not mean you're lonely or you're by yourself. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, then there would be no other human beings on the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we tell ourselves, I have nobody. No. Even if you don't have a lot of family, you can always go out into the community, church community, volunteering, and make connections with people. And so when I was breaking up, like I said, it took me about 5 or 6 times to break up. One of the things that kept me bound was because I was afraid of the unknown. I didn't trust God enough to help me with the pain that was about to hit me like a brick wall. Because that pain is beyond real. Like, did you experience, like, that, the crying and, like, the feeling like I'm going to die? Like,
no, I experienced that in the relationship. So imagine the joy of not being in a relationship and just really having God. Like, if I experienced that in that relationship, I'm going to have the joy of not being in a relationship. So
that's a great perspective to look at it, though. Like,
I was very confused in the relationship. I really was. Like, I didn't understand some things, and I'm like, I'm younger, he older, what's going on? Like, but I was leaning on the wrong person for my understanding. So I was just glad, that was kind of over. I would have enjoyed the friendship, or just that person still being there with me, for me, laughing and everything, but it was time to move past that. So,
girl, that's a great perspective. I wish I had that perspective. I really do. I had to have that
perspective. I had to have.
And you had responsibility. You had that baby girl, so it's like, nah.
And then I didn't have family out here, so it was just me.
Because you came here for school, so it literally was you by yourself.
Just me,
in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. His family was always welcoming, but in my mind, it was just me and my daughter. So at times I was like, oh, I'm lonely. Like, how could I just be by myself like this? But I've gained so much. Imagine if I was still in that relationship, confused and depressed and everything. trying to figure out like what's going on. No,
girl,
I won't want that back.
Girl, it's been 24, 29. It's been 5 years since I got out of my last relationship, and it has been the most blissful time of my life. I know how you saying you don't want to be single. Mm-hmm. Singlehood has its purpose, and it is such joy and such growth in it that is necessary. So the fact that you were saying you don't, because I'm either or. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what God has told me. I think someone's going to come along to help the purpose that He's put inside of me. I know that's what it is. But I had to come to terms, like, if I am not in a marriage one day, will I be okay? Will I serve God? I think every young woman has to come to that place, because so many young women are living off of a fantasy, and they're living off of a relationship status. And I remember talking to one of my friends a while back, and she had like a somber attitude, like, and I was like, girl, what's wrong? She was like, I'm reprocessing. I'm thinking my life through again, because she realized this relationship wasn't going to work out. And I said, what's happening is you're trying to find, now you're realizing that you have to find something else to live for, because she was living for a man. Like, if she was in a relationship, then joy was abundant, but if she wasn't, then she was like, and so a lot of women, we got to come to that place of realizing, like, we have so much more to live for. Like, literally, we are put on this earth for the glory and the magnification of the great King. And He does that through us in so many different ways. He's giving me my purpose. He gives you purpose to raise that baby girl, to go to school, everything that you got going on. He fills our life up with so much productivity. And we'll miss it if we're constantly thinking our worth is just in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And so that perspective change is key. Girl right now who is struggling to get out of that relationship, and she knows God's been speaking to her, even if she feel like she doesn't have a relationship with God that's strong or whatever. We're all growing, but she's confused and she knows this ain't gonna work. What advice would you give her? It's just getting over the present feeling, like, okay, I realize this is not working. He's gone. My heart is broken, but I want to go back so bad, like. Because you didn't go back, honestly. You know what I'm saying?
No.
After I finally said this is it, after the fifth time, and that pain.
No, it wasn't the fifth time for me.
But the one time, and that pain hit me because I was afraid of feeling hurt. Like, what would you say to her who's like, but I want to go back. But I want to go back because the pain is too real.
I would say keep moving, keep trusting in God, because if you go back, that cancel all the promises He had for you. Do you want the promises? Do you want to grow? Do you want to be prosperous? Or do you want that one human individual? God created that one human individual, and if He tell you He's not for you, why would you stay? It's going to block out a lot of things that you could have had. Do you want this one person, or you want all the blessings that God has for you? I feel like our purpose is like the kingdom of heaven, and even if you're not really a religious person, you have so much to offer the world than just being in love. Like, God is love. Focus on God. I mean, focus on whatever you're passionate about, whatever makes you happy. Choose happiness over, I want to go back and just be with this person. They make me happy. God has so much happiness for you in the future, and I wouldn't go back. If I was you, but I'm recommending don't go back.
I'm thinking of this meme. I'm sure a lot of people saw. It was this little girl holding on to this bear, a little bear, and she wouldn't let go. But God had like this really huge bear behind his back, and that's what a lot of us go through. We're afraid of the unknown. We feel like, it all stems from low self-esteem, because we feel like, well, this is the best that I can do. And it's such a lie, because there's 7 billion people in the world, and we limit our focus on this one person because we went to high school together, or because we in the same vicinity. But it's like, we're so small-minded. We have so much to live, so much life in front of us, so much growth to happen. This is just one person, like you said.
But sometimes I do understand you can't let go, because you want to see like where this gonna go, how it's gonna end. Don't wait for it to see how it's gonna go, how it's gonna end. What you feeling is real right now. If it's not really working out, if it's not bringing you peace or happiness, you got one life to live. Don't waste a moment feeling anything but peace or happiness just because, we're with this person, we got this years, we got these histories. No, let it go.
Straight up. My advice to that girl who's struggling, who is trying to get over a broken heart, allow yourself to sit in the reality of it. Because the reason why so many people don't get to the next level or don't get to the blessings and the promises and the growth is because they won't allow themselves. They're afraid to allow themselves to go through the hurt. Mm-hmm. And that was the thing that kept me bound, and why I was so afraid to let go is because I was afraid to sit in the pain. Like, it felt like a truck hit me, especially when you're having sex with somebody. This is why God said keep it between a husband and wife, mm-hmm. because that separation is one of the most painful things that I feel humans can mm-hmm. go through. But just sit in it and reflect. You know what I'm saying? If you don't take that time to get to know yourself, why it happened, why you allowed yourself to be in that relationship, what's going to happen is you're going to repeat the cycle because you never was aware of the patterns, you know what I'm saying, of the low self-esteem or whatever. So sit in it because it's going to heal. This is what I want to leave you with. When it comes to a broken heart, think of like broken soil. Like when you're trying to plant a seed into the ground for something to blossom and grow, you have to break up the soil, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not a farmer, but I know that's what you got to do. They call it tilling the ground. And you have to plant, you have to break it up so the soil can get really soft, so you can get that seed deep enough so it can take root and grow. Mm-hmm. When you have a broken heart, look at it like that. The only way that God can get some seeds planted deep inside of your heart is if it's broken up first. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, now it's like, okay, it's out of your hands. You can't heal it. And that's when God is able to freely just give everything he wants to give into you, so he can reconstruct your heart. And so he can plant the high self-esteem mm-hmm. and what you're worth, and so you can look for or allow somebody to come into your life that looks and reflects God. You know mm-hmm. what I'm saying? So perspective change is such a big thing when it comes to brokenheartedness and getting over relationships, knowing that you're going to be okay.
You're going to be okay.
You're not going to die because that pain feels so real. You're going to keep living. Mm-hmm. But there's so much more for you. Just trust God. We always say, trust God, trust God. But you literally have to walk it out. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we're afraid to walk away because we haven't walked with God yet. When mm-hmm. somebody says, trust me, basically they got to prove themselves to mm-hmm. be trusted. That's with anything. Trust God. Allow him to prove himself. Start reading a little bit of his word, and I guarantee you, because we've experienced him, he actually does what he says he gonna do. Amazing. Like, he literally does it.
He really do.
He takes care of his girls, us young women. And so I'm so grateful that I left that relationship because I got so much peace. I ain't confused.
When I left that relationship, just kept saying, like, I got this going, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm trying to, plead my case of how much of a good person I am. I'm like, why you don't see my worth?
Girl.
And God said, why you don't see your worth? And I was like, okay, no more for me.
Why you don't see your worth?
Yeah.
Yep. Why don't you see your worth? Listen, we queens out here, okay? We're prizes. I ain't never seen a prize chase down the winner. The winner is always working to get that prize. So baby girl, go ahead and sit up on the top shelf. Allow God to dust you off. Mm-hmm. Don't let yourself be fragmented or broken anymore. But just allow the right thing to be attracted to you. You ain't gotta chase no dude.
Chase God.
Chase God, yeah, because he already been chasing you. He's showing you right now how you are to be pursued. Just hear him for a change. So thank y'all. I hope y'all really enjoyed this episode with my girl Miss Mossy here, Mossy Youngblood. Check out sheabundantly.com where I have nothing but truth, music, fashion, and all kinds of good stuff in between. Mm-hmm. I'm on Twitter, barely, Instagram, Facebook, but YouTube, of course, where I talk that good stuff, stuff that you need, that we need, just like this. And until next time, queens. Holla.
Bye.
Peace.